Hello friends, welcome to IAS Shaashtra. Today we are going to be discussing the 2021 CSAT paper, the reading comprehension segment, and we are going to be discussing the passages that came in that paper. In this video we are going to be solving 6 passages and I hope I'll be able to help you with all the passages that are required to be solved with ease and clarity. But before starting, let's just revise the rules once again orally. In brief, the rules that we require to solve a CSAT paper, number 1 are that we should not use our previous knowledge. Number 2, we should not go against the opinions that are given of the author. Like if the author is mentioning something in the passage, so we should choose an option that goes with the author's opinion that is given in the passage. Thirdly, we should not choose points having examples. Fourthly, we should not choose any point that has an extreme word in it. So, if we use these rules for solving the CSAT paper, we will be solving the paper with ease and comfort and clarity. So, but another rule is that we should be practicing every day 10 to 15 passages. That is not a rule, that is actually a practice thing, which every one of us should be doing. Because if we don't practice, you know, your prelims are just around the corner, we'll not be able to score that minimum 33%. So practice makes a person perfect. Please practice 10 to 15 passages. If you have any problem, please contact us. Please take our guidance if you want. We are there to help you all the time. If you have any problem in this video or the previous videos, just comment in the comment box, or you can mail us or contact us in our website. We'll be there to help you out. Okay? So let's move forward with the video and start solving the paper. So this is the first passage of the 2021 paper. Just take a minute, look at the passage, read it, and then we will solve the passage. Okay, let's start reading. With respect to what are called denominations of religion, if everyone is left to be a judge of his own religion, there is no such thing as religion that is wrong. But if they are to be judge of each other's religion, there is no such thing as a religion that is right. And therefore all the world is right and all the world is wrong in the matter of religion. So the basic thing that the author is saying is that when we're talking about our own religion, we're always right. When we're talking about the other person's religion, we are always wrong. When we're talking about the other person's religion, then that religion is wrong. But when we're talking about our religion is right, okay? So when we're judging our own religion, we are saying that our religion is right. But when we're judging the other person's religion, the opposite person's religion, we're just saying that the other person's religion is wrong. So all the world is right when it comes to us, and all the world is wrong when it comes to the other person. And all this is happening when it comes in terms of religion, okay? Suppose I am Hindu or that person is Christian. So if I am saying that, yes, I am Hindu, so my religion is okay. That person is Christian, no, that religion is not okay for me. So I am nobody to judge. But for me, my religion is okay. But for me, that person's religion is wrong. So in terms of religion, my religion is okay for me, but that other person's religion is not okay for me. So that is what is being said in the passage. So as you can see that in the passage it is clearly implied by the author that there is no unity in religion in the country. If there would have been a unity that all religions are equally important and all religions are equally good, and there is a unity among every person in the country, then every religion would have been given the equal respect. As there is a lack of unity, that is why we consider that our religion is good or better and the other person's religion is not that much good. So our religion is good or right and the other person's religion is not right. So for that reason, there is a divide and rule playing in this game. So for that reason, this kind of scenario is taking place in the society. So now moving forward with this understanding, let's go forward with correcting the right assumption. Let's look at the first point. No man, we have to find the logical assumption, okay? No man can live without adhering to some religious denomination. So anything of this sort is not mentioned in the passage. They are not saying that man can live or man cannot live without adhering to any religious denomination. Nothing of this sort is mentioned in the passage. So as per our rule, we cannot go anything against. So as per our rule, we cannot choose an option that goes against the passage. So we'll just cross it out. Let's go to the second point. It is the duty of everyone to propagate one's religious denomination. Now, यहाँ पर कोई duty की तो बात नहीं हो रही है. So when this anything of this sort is not mentioned in the passage, we'll just cross it out. Next, religious denominations tend to ignore the unity of man. Absolutely correct. There is no unity in man. That is why we are saying our religion is right and the other person's religion is wrong. That is what is implied in the passage. So this point is going with the passage, so it's correct. Let's look at the last point. Men do not understand their own religious denomination. No. People are saying that we are considering our own religion is right and the other person's religion is wrong. So here, men are understanding their own religion, religious denomination, and then they are judging the other person's religions or religious denomination, right? So this point is not going with the passage. This is completely wrong. So we'll just cross it. So our right answer for the passage number 1 of this paper is C. Take a look at this passage. If you have any problem, if you are facing any doubts as to why we have chosen this option, just take a note of it, write it in the comment section, and we'll get back to you in no time. You just have to just keep a note of it, okay? I hope this kind of passage is clear. Another thing I want to mention is that when you start solving the CSAT paper of the, especially the reading comprehension passages, just keep in mind what kind of questions come, like assumptions are coming. Now, if assumption type of questions are coming, what kind of answers they want. If inference-based questions are coming, what kind of answers those types of questions are expecting? If crux-based, that is crux means the central idea. If those kinds of questions are coming, what kind of answers those questions are expecting from us? So just kind of have a briefing of the types of questions, then only you'll also have an idea, okay, ऐसा वाला question है तो ऐसा वाला answer होगा. तो वो भी तुम्हारा एक idea हो जाएगा, right? एक briefing हो जाएगा. You will have your own briefing, personal briefing, and then you can go forward with the solving very easily. Okay, let's go with the next passage. Take a minute, pause the video, read the passage, and then we'll start solving. Okay, let's start reading. It is certain that seditions, wars, and contempt or breach of the laws are not so much to be imputed to the wickedness of the subjects as to the bad state of a dominion. So imputed means implied or blamed kind of. So the seditions, these wars, these bad impacts that are taking place, these all things cannot be the result of the subjects, the citizens of India or the citizens of the country. These are actually whatever bad happens in a country or in a society, the society or the dominion or the commonwealth is responsible on the whole. The citizens are not responsible, the subjects are not responsible. Because the subjects or the citizens, they live under the society, commonwealth, or the dominion. Now, what kind of rules, what kind of laws, or what kind of citizenships, or what kind of guidance the commonwealth or the dominion is providing, according to that, the citizens are framed or groomed. And according to that, they start behaving. So they are not fully responsible or directly responsible for anything that is happening bad around the society. So that is what the author is saying in the passage. Besides, men's natural passions are everywhere the same. And if wickedness more prevails and more often offenses are committed in one commonwealth than in another, it is certain that former has neither enough pursued the end of unity nor framed its laws, its sufficient forethought, and that therefore it has failed in making quite good its right as a commonwealth. Yes, because the dominion is not good. The commonwealth has not framed, or the dominion has not framed its laws, its laws of citizenship, its laws, rules, and regulations properly. So as a result of which all these bad crimes or incidents or events are happening. which are, as a result of which the subjects or the citizens are falling a prey to. So now these, whatever bad is happening in the society, are not completely or directly the fault of the citizens, because the citizens absorb in the society. They just absorb in the society and they follow what are being told or guided to them. They just go with the flow. So if good laws and good guidance and good rules and regulations are set, the citizens will be moving forward along accordingly, right? So according to this opinion or understanding of us that we received from the passage, let's see which point of our understanding, let's see which point among the options goes with our understanding. We have to find the logical and rational inference, okay? That is the understanding on the conclusion. Let's look at the first point. Seditions, wars, breach of the laws are inevitable in every dominion. Now, inevitable is an extreme word. Inevitable means that it will happen naturally. It cannot be stopped. It will happen automatically. It is inevitable in every dominion. No, that is wrong. It will not happen. What is being said? That if the dominion is right, if they are having good laws, good rules and regulations, everything is okay, then these things will not happen. So this point is wrong. We'll cross it. Let's go to the next point. It is not the people, but the sovereign who is responsible for all the problems of any dominion. This is also wrong because all here is mentioned. All is a quantitative extreme word. Quantitative extreme word. They are talking about some problems that have been caused because of the wrong rules or wrong laws of the dominion, or bad state of the dominion. They are not saying that all the problems are there which are responsibility of the sovereign, or all the problems are occurring in the dominion, or nothing of sort has been said that the sovereign is responsible for all the problems of any dominion. Firstly, nothing is mentioned in the passage regarding the sovereign. Secondly, all problems of the dominion are not mentioned. They're just talking about some problems. So this is also an extreme word, a quantitative extreme word which is not going with the passage. We'll cross it out. Let's look at the third point. That dominion is the best which pursues the aim of unity and has laws for good citizenship. We'll keep this aside. Let's go to the last point. It is impossible for men to establish a good dominion. This is also a very incorrect statement. Firstly, because it has an extreme word, impossible. It is not a right statement to say that it is impossible for men to establish a good dominion. यहाँ पर तो कहीं पर नहीं बोल रहे. It is possible for men to establish a right or a nice or a better dominion if laws and rules and unity and other frameworks are properly established. So nothing is impossible. This is also an extreme word and an incorrect statement, so we'll cross it. We'll come back to statement C, where they're saying that that dominion is the best which pursues the aim of unity and has laws for good citizenship. Perfect. Yes, that dominion is the best which has unity in it and has good laws of citizenship. Then only the citizens will be following good laws, will get groomed up very properly, and such crimes and bad things will not be happening in the society. So this point is correct. We'll take a look at the passage again before I move on to the third passage. And then if you have any problem, as I have said earlier, just take a note. Mention in the comment section, just take a note. You can get back to us later, or you can just mention to me in the comment and I'll get back to you. And I'll help you out in any way possible, okay? I hope this passage was easy for you, because 2021, the passages in the beginning of the 2021 paper are quite easy to understand, although analytical, but they are easy and very short also. Okay, let's go to the next passage. Take a minute, pause the video, read the passage, and then we'll continue solving. Okay, let's start reading the passage. Inequality violates a basic democratic norm. What is that norm? The equal standing of citizens. So the basic topic of this passage is, let's take another color, inequality. So our basic topic of the passage is inequality. Now what does it violate? It violates a basic democratic norm, the equal standing of citizens. Equality is a relation that obtains between persons in respect of some fundamental characteristics. Equality is, morally speaking, a default principle, of course. Therefore, persons should not be discriminated on the basis of race, caste, gender, ethnicity, disability, or class. These features of human condition are morally irrelevant. The idea, now this is the main crux or the central idea of the passage that the author is trying to tell us, which is the idea that one should treat persons with respect, not because some of these possess some special features or talent. For example, someone is a skilled cricketer or is a gifted musician or is a literary giant, but because persons are human beings is by now a part of the common sense morality. So what the author is saying, that firstly, inequality is a very bad thing, which destroys the equal standing of the citizens in the country. It is a very big backdrop in the democracy of our country. So every citizen is equal, okay? And nobody should be discriminated on the basis of any of the following given categories. And the main thing is that every citizen should be given respect, not because that person is someone special, like a celebrity or a cricketer or a musician or a literary giant, but because first and foremost that person is a human being. And this notion that the person is a human being, and on the basis of that basic that respect and equality is being given, is now a part of the common sense morality. Okay? So on the basis of this understanding of our passage, let's see which of the points goes, or which of the assumptions goes with our understanding. We have to find the right assumption. Equality is a prerequisite for people to participate in the multiple transactions of society for a position of confidence, from a position of confidence. Of course, equality is a prerequisite. It should be inherent in every person. It is not something to be given because that person is holding a special position in society. It is something inherent, and it should be given already from a position of confidence. The person should be holding it as he is a human being, not because he is holding some kind of special position in the society. So this point is correct. Let's go to the next point. Occurrence of inequality is detrimental to the survival of democracy. Firstly, the extreme word here is survival. And nobody is saying that inequality, detrimental, the word detrimental means destroying, okay? If anyone has a problem with the understanding of this word, I'm just writing the meaning for them. This point is saying that inequality is destroying the existence of democracy. Firstly, the word survival is an extreme word. Secondly, nowhere in the passage it has been mentioned that inequality is destroying the existence of democracy. No. They are saying inequality is there and it is a backdrop in the democracy. It is not destroying, it is a backdrop. So equality should be maintained. That is what the simple thing is that. So this point is not right. Let's cross it. Let's go to the third point. Equal standing of all citizens is an idea that cannot actually be realized even in democracy. See, again, cannot is an extreme word. This is not right. It can be realized in democracy. That is what is being said. Inequality hai, to equality lana chahiye. So it can be realized. There is a possibility. So this point is wrong. Let's cancel it. Let's look at the fourth point. Right to equality should be incorporated into our values and day-to-day political vocabulary. Of course, that is what is being said, that it is a part of the common sense morality now, that we should be giving equality, respect, We should be giving equality or equal respect or values to every individual, not on the basis of their position, but on the basis of the fact that they are human beings, okay? And that is now a part of the common sense morality. So, according to that, this point is going that right to equality should be now a part of our values and day-to-day political vocabulary. This point is going with the passage. So, yes, this is correct. So, our right answer is C. Right answer code is C, as our two statements that are correct is 1 and 4. Take a look at the passage again. If you have any problem, take a note, let us know, and we'll help you in solving it. See, RC passages are not that difficult to solve, but you should be knowing the tricks and the scope traps that usually UPSC papers set for you. You know what, the options that come, you might be thinking, ye bhi sahi hai, ye bhi sahi hai. Kaun sa choose kare? So that is a scope trap. So you have to be very careful. These are the basic things that if you just keep in mind, RC passages are not that difficult to solve. But it's not that you can take it for granted, of course not. You have to practice every day, and you have to follow the rules, and you have to be very clear and calm-minded when you're solving it. But also you have to finish the paper on time. Okay? So, let's go on to the next passage. Take a minute, read the passage, and then we'll go on to the next passage. Then we'll go on to solving it. Okay, let's start reading. Aristocratic government ruins itself by limiting too narrowly the circle within which power is confined. Okay, before starting this passage, I would like to give you a briefing that here in this passage, 3 kinds of governments have been spoken about. One is the aristocratic government, then is the oligarchic government, and the third is the democratic government. Now, we are going to be speaking mainly about the democratic government in comparison to these two, okay? So, main focus will be on democratic government. We are just creating a comparison we are just going to be comparing the democratic government we are going to be just discussing mainly on democratic government in comparison to the aristocratic government and the oligarchic government, okay? Now, regarding the oligarchic government, what they're saying is that the aristocratic government ruins itself by limiting too narrowly the circle within which the power is confined, okay? Regarding the oligarchic government, they are saying it ruins, now aristocratic government is ruining itself by limiting its circle. It's narrowing in circle. So by limiting or narrowing its circle, it is ruining its power, okay? So if you just narrow yourself, if you confine yourself, your power will get confined, right? So aristocratic government, what it is doing, it is narrowing itself. So as a result of this, its power is also getting confined to a set of narrow walls, or a narrow, it is getting confined into a room kind of thing. And so for that reason, this aristocratic government is ruining itself, okay? Coming to oligarchic government, it is ruining itself by incautious scramble for immediate wealth. So now oligarchic government is going forward for wealth, incautious scramble for immediate wealth. It wants more and more wealth, immediate wealth. It's running behind immediate wealth. For that reason, it is ruining itself. What is democratic government doing? Now, we have spoken about aristocratic government, oligarchic government. Now, we are going to speak about democratic government. Let's make a nice flow chart. Okay. We have spoken about aristocratic government, oligarchic government. Now we are going to speak about democratic government. Now, aristocratic government ruins its powers by confining it. Oligarchic government ruins its government by running behind immediate wealth. Democratic government, how it is ruining it? But even democracy ruins itself by excess of democracy. Now, democratic government is ruining itself by imposing excess democracy. So, nothing, as we know, anything of an excess is not good. Too many, we know that proverb, too many cooks spoil the broth. So, anything of an excess is not good for health. So, democratic government has ruined itself or is ruining itself by imposing too much or excess of democracy. Okay, this is at first glance a delightful arrangement. It becomes disastrous because the people are not properly equipped by education to select the best rulers and the wisest courses. The people have no understanding and only repeat what their rulers are pleased to tell them. Such a democracy is tyranny or autocracy, as said by Plato. So this quote has been actually taken from Plato. Okay, this whole saying has been said by Plato. So this quote has been taken from Plato, one of Plato's sayings. So what Plato is saying, that aristocratic government ruins itself by confining its powers. Oligarchic government ruins itself by running behind immediate wealth. Now, democratic government is our main focus in this passage. What does it do? We are comparing democratic government with aristocratic and oligarchic. Now, democratic government ruins itself by imposing excess democracy. And in the process of that, what it is doing has been explained in these few lines. In the course of imposing excess democracy, it is doing all of this. So, by imposing excess democracy, it is also ruining itself. So, the main solution would be that nothing of an excess is good for health. So, any of the governments, the three governments that have been spoken about, any of these governments, if they start imposing anything of an excess, is not good. Like the democratic government has imposed democracy as an excess, that is not good. Okay, so we have understood this from the author's passage. So let's see which of the points goes with our understanding. And here we have to find the crux, okay, so the central idea. We have to find the central idea of the passage. Now we have understood the author basically saying, the author Plato is basically saying that the aristocratic government ruins itself by confining its powers. Oligarchic government is ruining itself by running behind immediate wealth. Now we are comparing democratic government, the main topic being in the passage, with aristocratic and oligarchic government. Now democratic government here, Plato is saying that it also ruins itself if it is imposing excess democracy in the following ways. So the basic idea that the author is trying to say that nothing of an excess is a good thing. So let's see which of the points goes with our understanding. Let's find out the crux. First point, or let's start with the last point, okay? Having a government is a necessary evil because tyranny is inherent in any form of government. Inherent. Again, extreme word. See, nothing of this sort is mentioned in the passage that having a government is necessary is also an extreme word. Such a point, firstly, is not mentioned in the passage that having a government is an evil or a necessary evil because tyranny is inherent in any form of government. No. Such a point is not mentioned in the thing. That they are saying that तीन government है, तीनों का ये problem है, उसकी वजह से तीनों ruined हो जा रहे हैं. Aristocratic के लिए ये problem हो रहा है, aristocratic government इसकी वजह से ruin हो रहे हैं. Oligarchy के लिए ये problem है, इसकी वजह से ये ruin हो रहा है. And democratic ये problem है तो इसकी वजह से ये ruin हो रहा है. That is the basic thing the author is saying. They are not saying that government एक necessary evil है, उसमें tyranny है. Nothing of that sort is mentioned. We'll just cross it. Let's go to the third point. Education of all citizens ensures a perfect, functional and sustainable democracy. Now, sustainable democracy has not been mentioned that this is sustainable democracy, this point is a complete whole, or you can say it's a complete different concept altogether, which is not mentioned in the passage. We'll not go for it. You know, these are just the scope traps that UPSC sets for you. If you have to just be very focused and not get confused and just look at the points and think that ये क्या दिया है passage में, नहीं दिया है तो नहीं जाएंगे ना, cancel कर दो, बस. Second point, any form of government tends to deteriorate by excess of its basic principle. Very true, but we'll come back to it after reading to the first point. First, human societies experiment with different forms of governments. See, this is a very basic point, and it would go with the passage if you have only read, if the passage would have been just till this much. If you just select this point, then the examiner will think that you have not read the full passage, you have read the half of it. Because uske baad main democracy ka portion aa raha hai. Here the point is regarding that, yes, human societies have various forms of government. Yes, they have mentioned 3 forms of government. Then what? Nothing more is mentioned in the point. How can you choose that point? Because the passage has more things, so you cannot choose this point. This point is in itself incomplete. So if you choose such a point, it is wrong, because the examiner will think that you have not read the complete passage. So let's cross it. Let's come back to the second point, which we thought to be perfect. Let's see whether it is actually perfect or not. Any form of government tends to deteriorate by excess of its basic principle. Very true. Any form of government deteriorates if excess of its principle, if excess by excess of its basic principle. Any form of government deteriorates by excess of its basic principle. Very true. If any of the forms of government that have been mentioned in the passage, if it starts imposing any of its principle in excess, it will start deteriorating. That is what has been said in the passage. So this point is correct. We'll take it. Let's go to the next passage. Take a minute, read the passage, and then we'll start solving. Okay, let's start reading the passage. India faces a challenging immediate future in energy and climate policy making. The problems are multiple sputtering fossil fuel production capabilities, limited access to electricity, and modern cooking fuel for the poorest. So this passage basically, before going into the details, I will just give you a briefing. This passage has 2 parts, okay? There is a transition word here. But. But is a transition word. Why? But is a transition word. Why? Because but indicates that first half of the passage indicated something else, and after but, the whole scenario, the tone of the author changes, okay? So, the first half of the passage, the author is speaking about all the negative things that is happening in the country, and after the but, the author's tone is changing, saying that कुछ गड़बड़ तो है, कुछ गलतियां है, but all is not bad. There are some good things, there are some positive things also, and then he's mentioning all the positive things in our society. So, but is a transition word. Okay, so now let's continue reading the passage. So let's continue reading the problems. Rising fuel imports in an unstable global energy context, continued electricity pricing, governance challenges leading to its costly deficits or surplus supply, and not least growing environmental contestation around land, water, and air. But the transition is now taking place. We are coming to the positive side. All is not bleak, which means that all is not negative. Growing energy efficiency programs are also taking place. Integrated urbanization is also happening. Transport policy discussions are also happening. Inroads to enhancing energy access and security. Bold renewable energy initiatives are happening. Even if not fully conceptualized, suggested the promise of transformation. So, two segments of the passages are there. We have understood that basic thing. That firstly, India is having all these challenges and bad and negative things that are happening in India. It has been spoken about in the first half. And after the but, there's a transition. The tone of the author changes, and the author is saying then all the positive things about India, that India is also doing some positive things. So there's a transition. So when we are going to be choosing a point, we have to choose a point which has the combination of both the parts, the positive as well as the negative. Okay? Now let's start selecting the correct ones. We have to choose a point which shows the critical message of the passage, including both the halves, huh? Okay. Let's start with the last point. India's energy decision-making process is straightforward, supply-oriented, and ignores the demand side. No. Firstly, it is not straightforward because it has so many negative things. It is not supply-oriented, and it ignores the demand side. That is okay, but it is not straightforward. This thing, it is not straightforward. So this point is making this, where it is written that the India's energy decision process is straightforward, this is not right. It is not supply-oriented because so many negative things are written, in which it is written it is not supply-oriented, and it ignores the demand side. So this point is actually not going with the passage. So we'll just cross it. Let's look at the third point. India's energy and climate actions are not compatible with its broader social, economic, and environmental goals. They are saying India's negative things, then India's positive things. They are not saying anything regarding compatibility. So we'll just cross it. Let's go to the second point. India's energy and climate policy is heavily tuned to sustainable developmental goals. Again, now this SDG 2030 Okay, there was some technical error. I'm sorry for the disturbance. Let's continue with the points. See, so India's energy and climate policy is heavily tuned to sustainable developmental goals. So sustainable development goals, this SDO, this of 2030 is a completely different concept which is not mentioned in the passage anywhere. So we cannot go with a point which is not mentioned in the passage, especially which is this complete different concept altogether. Okay? So let's just cross this point. Let's go to the first point. India's energy decision-making process is even more complex and interconnected. Very well said. This is a correct point because India's decision-making process is complex and it is interconnected. Why? Because it has positive, negative as well as positive things. So it has both sides, right? It has a very complex things. It has all its things are all interconnected, because India has negative things and positive things which are all interconnected, and together it is all very complex. So, what I said in the first, that we need to choose a point that inculcates both the sides, positive as well as negative side, okay? So, this point is going with our assumption that India's energy decision-making process is more complex and interconnected. Why? Because all its negative and positive things are all interconnected. So, this point is correct and is going with the passage. So, we'll just tick it. Okay? So, our right answer is A. Look at the passage. If you have any problem, please let me know. And then now we'll just go to the last passage of the session, passage 6. Look at the passage. It is very short but very analytical and a little tricky. If you can just find the answer very good. If you want, you can just write in the comment section. That will be very good. We can have a little quiz session like that. And then we just start solving. Just take a minute, pause the video, and we'll start. Okay, let's start reading the passage together. There are reports of some of the antibiotics sold in the market are fed to the poultry and other livestock as growth promoters. Overusing of these substances can create superbugs, pathogens that are resistant to multiple drugs and could be passed along humans. So there are reports that the antibiotics that are fed to the livestock or the poultry are used for two things. Firstly, for treating the diseases, and secondly, for making them fat. थोड़ा मोटा छोटा बनाने के लिए use किया जाता है. Okay. Okay. Mindful of that, some farming now, it has also been found that by consuming the animals that are fed with such antibiotics, human beings are also getting impacted or affected. So, now moving on to the next line. Mindful of that, some farming companies have stopped using the drugs to make chickens gain weight faster. So, seeing that human beings are also getting impacted, some farming companies have stopped using such drugs. Since Denmark banned antibiotic growth promoters in 1990s, the major pork exporter says it is producing more pigs and animals get fewer diseases. Okay? That is a basic statistics. That is not so much important. The basic important thing of the passage is that antibiotics are being used for two things. Basic use of antibiotics is to treat diseases. But here antibiotics are used for two things, for promoting growth and also for treating diseases. So now, after seeing its bad impacts, some companies have shut down its after seeing its bad impact, some companies have stopped using it as growth promoters and they're just using it as medicines, or they're using it as for medicinal purpose. Okay, so our assumption should be that why to use antibiotics for promoting growth, right? उनको मोटा छोटा क्यों बनाना है? अच्छे से खाना खिलाओ ना यार, अच्छे से खाना खिलाओ, फिर वो लोग वेट गेन करे, फिर उनको सेल करो, फिर हम लोग खा रहे हैं, ठीक है, चल रहा है. जो भी नॉन वेजिटेरियन है, they can understand this fact. Because when you have also heard maybe that chickens are injected with many kind of antibiotics, right? And as a result of that, when those chickens are sold to us, and when we eat, some of us do fall sick. So that is not very healthy. उनको अच्छे से खाना खिलाओ, फिर you are selling, we are eating, then the process goes on and on, which is more or less much better than the previous one. So, according to me, and I think according to many of us, it would be better that if antibiotics could be only used for medicinal purpose and not as growth promoters. So I think this was a thing which was considered by many farming companies after seeing the bad impact, and that is why they had banned the use of antibiotics as growth promoters. Okay, so now our understanding of this that we have received from the passage, we will keep that aside and we'll see which of the points goes with our understanding. Okay, let's see. We need to find the critical message of the passage. So let's see whether which of the points goes with our understanding, and let's find the critical message. People should avoid consuming the products of animal farming. They are nowhere here is saying that people are consuming products of animal farming. This point is not going with the passage. Completely out of the topic, this statement has gone. Let's just cross it. Let's go to the second point. Foods of animal origin should be replaced with foods of plant origin. No. Here they're talking about promoting growth of animals. Plant origin ka kahan se aa gaya? This is also going out of the topic. Let's cross it. Third point. Using antibiotics on animals should be banned. Now, if you choose this point, your answer will be wrong. This is a scope trap. This is a completely tricky scope trap. Antibiotics, kahin par bhi nahi, from after reading the passage, we cannot say that antibiotics should be completely banned on animals. No. We can treat it as medicines. They are saying the use of antibiotics as growth promoters, that has been banned. Nowhere it has been said that the use of antibiotics has been completely banned. Nowhere it has been said in the passage. So if you mark this is a completely basic or very tricky scope trap that UPSC has set for you. If you mark that, it will be completely wrong, because antibiotics cannot be banned because it has medicinal use and it should be used on animals for treating diseases. Logically, अगर हम सोचे कि medicine को तो देना पड़ेगा ना उन लोगों को treatment करने के लिए, तो we cannot ban that. So we can not use it as growth promoters, but we can use it as medicines for treating diseases. So this point is a complete scope trap. So we cannot go with this point, because अगर आप लोग ये select करेंगे, पहला चीज़ है ये scope trap है. Secondly, कहीं पर passage में तो नहीं लिखा है. Third, आपने खुद से सोचा है, तो ये cancel हो जाएगा. So this point is wrong. Let's go for the last point. Antibiotics should only be used to treat diseases, right? Because from the passage we have understood that antibiotics should not be used for used as growth promoters. It should only be used for treating diseases, because that is the right use. Because that is the right way to use it. So this point is correct, as it is going with the passage and also our right understanding. So our right answer for passage number 6 is D. Okay, look at the passage. If you have any problem, just comment in the comment section and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Okay, so friends, that is it for today. I hope you had a lot of help. You got a lot of help in solving 2021, the first 6 passages through the help of this video. And I hope I was helpful to you all and I was able to solve the passages with you with ease and clarity. If you have any problem, please just get back to us in our website or through our Telegram channel or YouTube channel. We will help you at all times, and we're there to give you all sorts of mentorship, guidance, and help all the time. We're there to help you out. And as prelims is just around the corner, please don't forget to practice your passages of the last 5 years. And also please practice RC passages at least 10 to 15 every day. And follow the rules, the steps, read as much articles as you can and prepare as much as you can. But please be calm, don't take tension, don't become anxious. Just focus, be focused, and concentrate, have the determination, and everything will be well. Okay? So I'll be coming back with another video for the part 2 session of the 2021 paper, where I'll be solving another 6 passages with you, and I'll be also uploading some solutions, and so that if you have any problem, you can just look into it also. Till then, please, if you have any problem, let us know. Till then, have a good time, prepare well, have a nice day. Bye.